Good evening, everyone. Welcome to weekly analysis on movement charts. Starting with SPY. We had a wild move this week after this broke out of this ascending wedge pattern as discussed last week and retested on March 17th. It gone wild and moved from 668 to 634 in 2 weeks. So this week it opened the gap up but then rejected at 9 EMA 2 times, one on Monday and one on Wednesday. Then Thursday and Friday it fall down 1.7 and 1.7% respectively. Total of around $22.73 in 2 days. Currently sitting at the support level. Working below we have a major support at 630 area. RSI is below 30. If it is acted as a support, it may go and test this inverse fair value gap at this lower low, this fair value gap. Looking at the lower time frame, an hourly time frame, it is keep moving down, taking 5 EMS resistance for last 2 days, and an hourly time frame also the RSI is oversold. Looking at the 5 minutes time frame, for last 2 days it was rejecting at every 9 EMA. Today it opened gap down below this fair value gap which it took support last 2 times, and it did not go and test that gap also. It just got rejected at 5 EMA, and once again it tested the resistance of the full trap setup. Then it crashed hard again. Looking at the weekly time frame, price broke through this fair value gap, which will now act as a resistance in the upcoming sessions. Looking at the monthly time frame, we have 2 more sessions for the month to complete. So far, the long bearish candle of 7% down in the month of March, which was a $50 move. And so far it invalidated this fair value gap on monthly time zone also. If we go and retest this area in the upcoming days and see a rejection, then we will come and test this level around 600. Moving on to NVIDIA, we have this larger time frame in head and shoulder pattern breakout. And price closed below this support level, and we can see a 20 EMA cross down to 200 SMA. The immediate support we have is 164. Then resistance at 170.71 and this fair value gap around 175. If we see any rejection from this area and 20 EMA, we may come and test this 150 level. Looking at weekly time frame. Weekly time frame also, we can see the same head and shoulder pattern breakdown. And price got rejected from 20 EMA and 9 EMA this week. Closed below this two support levels. We see a rejection from this area between 170 and 175. We may come under just to this 150. Looking at monthly time frame. Monthly also we have this bearish engulfing candle printed in November. Since then, price was consolidating for last 3 months, then broke down this support of 175. This one so far. We have 2 more trading sessions to go for this month candle to close. Looking at Microsoft. Microsoft also in long time downtrend. Broke out of this trend line and retested on March 6th, which led to major down from 404 to 356. It also invalidated this gap and currently at this support level of 356. Next support level we have the swing low, and it left lots of fair value gaps. If it takes support from here or from this level, may slowly go and retest this fair value gap at this resistance level. And if we see rejection from there, then it will come and test this gap at 333, 339 level. Testing this gap will collect the liquidity below the swing low. Looking at the weekly time frame, we have been discussing this trend line resistance as it did corrected heavily on the last 2 times. This time also it corrected heavily. And for now the price is below 200 SMA on weekly time frame. The next support we have is swing low at 340, 344 level, and this gap. If we take a fib levels from the swing low, swing high, we price break through this 50% level and we have 61.8% level at 339, which is at this previous major resistance level. Looking at the monthly time frame, before it closed below the support of 370, looks like it will come and test this level around 340, where we have this order block on monthly time zone. So Microsoft is near to the critical support levels. Looking at Amazon, after dropping on earnings, Amazon pulled back to test this resistance and started move back down. Currently price rejected multiple times at this resistance level, and then it printed a bearish engulfing candle yesterday, rejecting from that resistance and 20 EMA. Today it printed a large bearish candle of around 4% move to the downside. So the next support level we have is 160, swing low, and we have this larger time frame trend line also. Looking at weekly time frame, for the last 3 times it took support from that level. So it may act as a support in the coming session also. Even on the weekly time frame also, price saw continuous rejection from this fair value gap and this resistance levels. And this week it printed a bearish engulfing candle. This 211 and 12 level will be a strong resistance in the upcoming sessions. We have support at the swing low around 196. Breaking below will take us to 166 if it breaks below this trend line. Let's see how this gap on the weekly time frame playing out for Amazon. Looking at monthly time frame, and the monthly time frame next support level we have is around this level at around 177, 178. Currently price trading below 20 EMA and monthly time frame, rejecting from this resistance level. So on the daily time frame, the rejection from this fair value gap are at this resistance level are at 20 EMA, and we will test to the swing low and the next support level at 184, followed by 177, and then 166. Resistance breaking above this, we have resistance at 220, 221, and then 200 SMA. Looking at Apple also has the same setup. After breaking down from this bear flag, price consolidated here for the 20 EMA to catch up. Yesterday it printed a doji candle with long upside week, dipping into this fair value gap as well as rejecting from 20 EMA. And today it printed a bearish engulfing candle of 1.62% move. Currently price is near the 200 SMA. And the next support level we have is around 243, 244. Breaking below that support will take us to testing this fair value gap and this support level around 226. Resistance around 250, the low of yesterday's candle, and the strong resistance at 251. We break above this fair value gap, we may want to test this level and this trend line resistance. Apple today was looking good in the early session, taking support from this 200 SMA on 15 minutes time frame and opened a gapped up. We'll test this fair value gap on the 15 minutes time frame, then it rejected continuously for 4 times, which led to strong move down from 254 to 248. Now we have fair value gap on 15 minutes at this area, where we have the strong resistance level around 251. Immediate resistance we have at 249. Breaking above, we'll go and test this fair value gap at 20 EMA and 15 minutes time frame. We have 20 EMA cross down, 200 SMA and 15 minutes time frame. Looking at hourly time frame, currently price sitting at the support level of this gap, but left fair value gaps above and below this resistance. So if we see a pullback to test this resistance or this 9 and 20 EMAs, any rejection at those levels will lead to test this support at 246, followed by this 243.44 level. Looking at the weekly time frame, like all other tech stocks, Apple also seeing rejection from 20 EMA. This acts as a double top on a weekly time frame for Apple and breakdown below this support will take us to 225 followed by 212. Looking at the monthly time frame, on monthly time frame also, so far we have bearish candle 5.8% down compared to February month, and we have this fair value gap level on monthly time frame to watch out for an upcoming session, which was already tested in January. If we break below this gap, then we have another gap here between 225 and 215 and the monthly time frame. This is on monthly time frame, and we have 20 EMA on monthly at 236. Like other tech stocks, Apple also coming out from this trend resistance where it corrected largely on last two times. But unlike Microsoft, Apple is still haven't corrected that heavily. So if it wants to balance out with other tech stocks, then it may also come and test this gap around 220 and 215 levels. Looking at AMD, after breaking down from this uptrend, again it went up all the way to test this high and rejected from this trend line. In the recent time, it was just consolidating within this range, and on Wednesday, it was up around 7%, breaking above this resistance just to trap and test this fair value gap. Next day, it ended up here a engulfing candle. So if this is a bull trap, then AME also go to test this level at 170. Good thing is it's still trading about 200 SMA and the daily time frame, but it left a fair value gap this level to watch out for in the upcoming sessions. Looking at the weekly time frame, yeah, and the weekly time frame also, this week's candle just collected the liquidity above this level and rejected down to close below 20 EMA on weekly time frame. So it just tested this fair value gap level on weekly time frame. So the next support level we have is around 188, followed by this gap at 171 and 165 level. Then at 150, this one weekly time frame. Close above this gap level of 236, and we'll go and test 267 again. Going at the monthly time frame, we have back-to-back bearish engulfing candles on November and February. We have this fair value gap on monthly time frame between 196 and 165. So if we see any bullish reversal candlestick pattern set apart this area between 170 and 175, testing this 20 EM and monthly time frame may lead to break out this resistance. This is a monthly time frame, so it will take some time. If we break below this 165 level, then we'll come and test support at 150, then this fair value gap level between 122 and 135. And the monthly time frame, we add this RSI bearish divergence, which led the price down from 265 to 200. So far, it didn't close below this low of 194.25 and taking support from 9 SMA and monthly time frame. Unless we close above this gap, looks bearish. Let's see how price reacts to this gap. Looking at Tesla. Tesla was also keep rejecting this trend line as well as 20 EMA and daily time frame every time. On Tuesday, we had this 20 EMA cross down to 200 SMA, and on Wednesday it printed a inverted hammer rejecting from 200 SMA and 20 EMA, which led to back-to-back various candles of more than 6% move, breaking below this major support, leaving fair value gap. Currently price is near to the support level of 354. If it takes this support and moves back to test these resistance levels, and if it forms any bearish candlestick pattern setup, then it will come and test this gap around 339, followed by this support at 320 level. If we break above this level of 397 impulsively, invalidating this gap, then any retracement back to test this support level around 386 may form a higher low. Looking at the weekly time frame. So on the weekly time frame, we had this double top pattern breakout last week, and this week we rejected from this neckline as well as 9 EMA. So we'll come and test this support around 354. Or even the support at 328. Looking at the monthly time frame. Monthly time frame price is near to the 20 EMA. 20 EMA is at 353. Thank you for watching.